Dean.
Hello.
And Dara Cunningham.
Hello there.
It's 3 sleeps till Christmas. We've got our Christmas jumpers on. Well, me and Rocco have. Where's yours, Dara?
It's too warm. Too warm. I actually was wearing a jumper a minute ago. It wasn't a Christmas jumper, but I just switched it right before we went on to record.
Sweat it out for the lads. It's Christmas.
The tropical climate of Dublin. There we go. Before we get into the podcast and the result against Crystal Palace, the beautiful result against Crystal Palace, special thanks to Bass & Bly, sponsors of the podcast, the very best, the finest purveyors of your camera gear in the UK. And they do have a special offer on for Leeds That listeners and viewers. The Kodak Carmera, which we've mentioned on the last 2 podcasts, which is a brilliant little pocket digital camera. It's like a keyring size. That you can get that for 30 quid when you enter code LEEDS at the checkout. So go to bassandbly.com. It's a perfect stocking filler, although probably too late. But it's also just a great thing to buy yourself. What a lovely little thing.
I think it's a main present.
So yeah,
I think you're underselling it as a stocking filler.
Maybe I am. Yeah. Bassandbly.com or 6 Beulah Street in Harrogate next time you're there. So yeah, we're here again after another amazing performance at Elland Road, and what a night it was. One that'll definitely go down in history, particularly as an answer to the horrible defeat we had against Crystal Palace last time at Elland Road. So yeah, a fantastic night. Finished 4-1. From the off, we looked like a decent side. I saw there was some tweet. A few people might have seen it earlier this week, and it was Palace have started well. This looks sort of scripted to be their night. It's like I wasn't sure about that. And yeah, fantastic. Rocco, you said it was quite quiet over your end of the ground, but it was really loud where I was. It was a brilliant atmosphere.
Yeah, I know. I was a bit surprised. I don't know if it was because like maybe in the second half it wasn't as buoyant and party atmosphere like as you'd expected with such a result, but maybe because it was so easy. I don't know. It was just a nice routine thrashing, wasn't it? We pulverized them. It sort of went how we sort of. I think everyone was a bit the same. Like. All thought we might do it because of all the factors such as, Palace's moving the game forward a day and having just played Thursday and Elland Road under the lights, etc. And it panned out just like that. Like they just did not compete whatsoever. We were awesome. And Farke as well, we should single out for special praise maybe a bit later.
Yeah. Dara, and did you feel like it's just been, like Rocco said, a continuation of the last few games at Elland Road as well? Away sides have not really been able to fully impose any sort of style of play, apart from Liverpool maybe. But in recent weeks, Leeds have been pretty formidable at Elland Road.
I would go a step further and say it's an evolution of what has gone on at Elland Road, because it was different, wasn't it? It was a tactical masterclass. The players have obviously all been putting it in over a number of weeks, and if it was the same as that, I would say yeah. But the fact that we came out with a totally different approach and a really interesting setup that I've never seen before. We played 2 formations, like in the same match at the same time. It was. I think it's Daniel Farke's finest moment. Absolutely unbelievable, how he's turned it around. And yeah, rather than just a pure continuation, I would say it is an evolution. Although I have to say, I was completely sideswiped by those comments because they're all actually hilarious and very interesting. Particularly the one about Farke manager of the month and Dominic Calvert-Lewin as player of the month. I mean, that
was going to be my one last thing.
Well, it still can be, and we can come back to it. Matt Leeds, you make a great point. We will come back to it. You mentioned Farke wins manager of the month, and DCL will be close to being player of the month. I think you could be right, but yeah, we'll definitely
match to go.
Come back to that. And yeah, I mean, the first thing caused a bit of a debate in our WhatsApp group was Aaronson being on for Tanaka. Dara, you weren't particularly happy. I did defend that decision because I did think Tanaka had a poor game last time around. But I get it. Like the sentiment around Aaronson is something that is still trying to go on an upward positive slope. But He's doing well. He did well. Like, did Farke say after the game that he'd covered 15 kilometers or something ridiculous? And he was just closing everything down. It was exactly what we needed in that game.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Humble pie for me. Nicely taken, square in the face of Brendan Aaronson. He definitely hit the target with that pie. I'm delighted to be so. Look, I've come to the conclusion I just don't think I'm ever going to be an Aaronson fan. I think every time I see his name on the team sheet, I'm going to be a little worried. But I would love him to continue to keep proving me wrong, because he was magnificent on the day and rightly deserved his standing ovation at the end of the game. As you say, he covered 15 kilometers. I think Farke challenged him to do that. And it wasn't long into the game that you could see why it was Aaronson instead of Tanaka, because again, he was playing two different positions, and he probably is the only player in our squad who could do that. He obviously, there was the tactical awareness that Mark Gay, he likes to take the ball out for Palace. So I didn't know that. Obviously, you don't watch Palace, but you could see that was a tactic for them. They gave it to him as the left centre back, and then he drove it forward. And Aaronson just cut that out from the very start and said, like, if you want to go forward, you're going to have to beat me. And let's face it, centre backs don't usually beat players. So yeah, Aaronson really, really played his part in everything in the game, and absolutely humble pied me. But I did say it, I made another point just before the game started, as I backed down due to your browbeating.
It's not browbeating. It's not browbeating. It's just I'm not right very often, should I say? So take one over.
It was before the game, so it could have been anyone's. But I did make the point that someone who has been right every time, every week for the last few weeks is Daniel Farke. So I think my last message into that just before the game started was, in fairness, now that I've had time to digest it, Farke hasn't put a foot wrong in weeks, so I really should just trust him. And again, he turned up trumps.
I just went out to get some food, and I treated myself by going to Sainsbury's rather than the usual Aldi shop, because it's Christmas, and I thought I'll go to Sainsbury's because I might see Daniel Farke. And in my mind, I was, because I know he often frequents the Harrogate Sainsbury's. I was like, what am I going to ask him? What am I going to say to him? Should I get him to do an audio bit for the podcast? None of it happened, obviously. I spent about 15 minutes thinking about it.
You would have been too nervous. If you'd seen him, you'd never have asked him.
Oh yeah, I know. I would have just gone straight for the cheese counter, just rummaged around.
I have some inside knowledge that I'm not able to share. I know where Daniel Farke is dining tomorrow night. I was there last night, but I'm not going to say any more than that and protect his privacy.
Oh, Rock, I meant to ask you, where were you out last night?
Come on, give me some credit. At least ask me in 5 minutes when it's out of my head.
What pants? Well, I've got some insider information actually. In the know accounts. It's not that good actually, but someone I know. I can't say too much actually, but someone within the ranks, or knows someone who knows someone at the hotel where Crystal Palace stayed, and they were due to have a meal after the game, and they didn't show up for the meal and were locked in a conference room until midnight. So nice. Read into that what you will. I think a serious rollicking might have happened after that game, because Glasner was not impressed, was he? Not impressed at all, which is fantastic. It makes me so happy.
That was when I heard before. There was a couple more things on top of what we said about the circumstances. I heard that Palace were the number one team in away. They're collecting more away points than anyone, and I just thought, obviously you should just think, oh well, we're playing the best away team, but I just thought, well, the Jew are smashing. I really, after I heard that, I thought, God, we actually are going to do them, because that sort of run for a team like Palace isn't going to go on forever. And also then there was talk before the game of Glasner and a new contract. Is he going to stay and all that? I think it was one of those moments where we really got them at the absolute perfect time. And they've got a quarter-final as well coming up tomorrow. So yeah, but obviously to take absolutely nothing away from our 11 heroes, they were just magnificent right from the start. I mean, yeah, as Glasner said, they lost every single duel. And yeah, Aaronson again. I mean, it was lovely to have his standing ovation. I really hope that people remember this next time he does something shit, or when he has a bad game, or the next time he gets brought on when we're losing. just have a bit of respect for yourself as well as Aaronson and our manager and our team.
I like that, Rocco.
Don't put our players on.
Shots fired.
I like that.
That's the last I'm going to say on it.
Dara, I don't know how pronounced this was on TV or whether they made a thing of it, but it was so clear early on that Joe Rodon was playing in a bit of a full back right winger with the ball and centre back without it. And Adam, who I sit next to, just said, I think he said this. I can't remember whether I'm hearing it right. I remember it right. Sorry, but he said we look like a proper Premier League team purely because we're just doing weird stuff like that. And I know what he means. I know what he means because in the Championship it's very much here's your formation, here's your style of play, off you go. But you have to adapt and you have to do things like this in the Premier League to get results. So yeah, was that as pronounced on TV as it maybe was in the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. It took a while to cop it because you're kind of looking at it going, is he just really pushed out wide to receive the ball? But then off the ball, it's certainly when we had the ball, but he didn't have it, you could see he was maintaining that position. You're like, what the hell is going on here? Where's Bogle? Bogle was kind of floating infield, and Aaronson was coming on the outside. Rodon was marauding up the right wing, to which I've now renamed him, one for our older listeners. So obviously his initials, J.R.U. Wing. Did you get it? J.R.U. Wing.
Oh, blank.
So if there's anyone in the comments who's older than these two, if you're in the comments and you're older than these two, you might remember who J.R. Wing is.
If you remember the founding year of Leeds United,
it's a TV show called Dallas in the 80s. Don't worry about it.
Just before my time.
Crikey,
just
anyway.
before.
Go
but yeah, he was magnificent. I think for me that was the absolute masterclass of Daniel Farke. I honestly think this was his greatest hour as a Leeds manager. He's pulled off some big wins for us, like kept really cool heads in the past in terms of his player management and how he sets teams out and all this stuff. But that was the first time he went out with a setup that completely bamboozled the opposition manager and won the day against someone who's bound to be one of the best managers, the hottest properties in the world at the moment in terms of the job he's done at Palace. So to see Farke completely outsmart him to play what was essentially a 4-3-3 out of possession and then a 3-5-2 without the ball, with ball, without ball, was just beautiful. Like, it was brilliant. And Rodon could clearly do the job. I mean, he even put in a great cross. But yeah, it was absolutely pronounced. You could see it on TV. I don't think the commentators made much of it because they probably just didn't understand what was going on. But if you knew Leeds and you watch Leeds, yeah, you could absolutely see it. Just probably a little bit of disbelief at first, just like took a while for it to really sink in what was happening. And it was just magnificent.
I loved how we came out second half as well and just kept going for it, so like, yeah, I think he got everything absolutely spot on, as did the players, because obviously conceded a lot of goals straight after half time, haven't we? And that dangerous 2-0 lead, could have got very nervy, but there was no difference. It was just like, same again, on you go. It's fantastic.
First half then, I mean, early on, I said to my sister, it's like, we've had a lot of corners here, haven't we? A few minutes in, it felt like we were right up there and not really getting sort of central into the box to have really good efforts. There were sort of some half efforts that were okay, but we were just getting a lot of set pieces, and you just thought, if we continue doing this, we are going to cause them a lot of problems because they just looked uncomfortable when the corners were coming in. Corners weren't that great early on, actually. So yeah, but having said that, Aaronson won what should have been a penalty very early on, which Rocco and I are opposite ends of the ground to where that happened, but Dara, you immediately messaged saying that it was definitely a penalty, and I think a few people around us were saying the same as well. I was watching it back. Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't given. Yeah,
bit of a scruffy one. I'm not bothered that it wasn't, to be honest. Like, it looked.
Oh, we won 4-1.
Yeah, but it did look a penalty. Yeah, it looks a penalty. But yeah, the soft hand thing again. If that's the case, fair enough. If they're consistent with it, but the problem is they probably won't be. But yeah, I was just flummoxed actually when it just came up on the screen checking penalty. I had no idea whether it was for us or for them because I didn't realise yeah, I
Did
didn't
loads of
realise
beers
Aaronson
on
was
your
in the
Rocco?
box. I did a load of beers, so yeah, I just didn't know what was going on.
Whereabouts?
I can't tell you.
Oh, nice try, Dara. We'll get it out.
Take
We
that.
might get it out. We might get it out of him before the end of the podcast. Look, Dominic Calvert-Lewin opened score in 38 minutes. It was another one of, what do we call it? Like, do you need a name for one of Ampadu's sort of slingshot throws? They're ridiculous, aren't they? I think
Well,
we've
It's a bit like that trophy. Sorry, it's a bit like that T-shirt you made because you see his face when he leans back.
yeah,
You know, it's a bit like that
It is
T-shirt you had
actually, yeah.
made.
yeah, it is. But yeah, that was like Beal did amazingly well there. Just got in the position to knock it on, and obviously
That's the second
Calvert-Lewin.
goal.
Oh, sorry, am I getting the wrong way around? Yeah, it was a good goal. Talk us through it, or tell us something about it.
I was wondering how long it's going to be before teams start like putting the ball out for a corner instead of a throw-in, like Shea Given did against Stoke. Yeah, terrible defending both times. Bad miss by Calvert-Lewin the first time, but he's there to pick up the pieces. I love his goal map of his 7 goals, like all in a perfect line, right in the middle of the bloody box, as Tony Dorigo would say, which is just glorious. But the thing is, it is bad defending, but the movement's awesome. The movement's fantastic. Everyone's they're so scared of the long throw, and they've got so many people to concentrate on. The 3 big centre backs and everyone else, and it's such a bullet. Yeah, it's just hard to deal with, and I think they've just completely nailed it this season with set pieces. It's phenomenal. Do the long throws count as a set piece? I think they must do, because we're top now. We've scored more than anyone, so yeah, they must count. It's lovely that's never happened in our lives, surely.
No. Oh, we've not scored a lot of set pieces in the last sort of 10 years, have we? Really?
No.
Well, they're cheating, aren't they? Set pieces are cheating, according to Marcelo.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it was bad defending. Just those long throws cause havoc, and they've actually gotten better though, haven't they? Because they were coming in at a certain loop to kind of get the distance on it, and now they're being fizzed in at a trajectory of about maybe 15 feet above the ground, and it's just like an arrow, which is a bit more like a corner kick. Then it's coming in with pace, and it makes it more difficult to handle and to judge the flight of the ball as to when it's going to drop, which is exactly what led to the goal, because I think it came off the Palace defender, which is why obviously DCL was miles onside. He was onside anyway, but he would have been even more so onside had he even come onto a Leeds, or he still would have been onside if I had been a Leeds player. I didn't think that wrong with the first finish. I thought, first thing you do is you just tap it in. Keeper did a really good save. Like, that was an excellent save. But of course, he can only tap it to the man of the moment, DCL, who taps it in. Brilliant. Again, Johnny on the spot. And as you say, that heat map, again, finishing on one touch, being in the right place. He was probably lucky to still be on the pitch, because he had that really nasty knock of heads with Mark Gahey, probably 10 minutes before that. And you could see it completely accidental. I think Gahey went to head the ball and was moving backwards. DCL was moving forward, and there was just a clash of heads. But obviously DCL took it on the forehead, Gahey on the back of the head, and DCL was down for quite a while. And you were really concerned at that point, because you know how good he's been.
Not for his safety, just that he's going to be forced.
No, for our enjoyment. We're concerned for our own enjoyment. But even in fairness, like, safety wise, he might end up with a concussion and he's out for 10 days and he's fine, But that could be detrimental to our season, particularly the games that are coming up, and including the one against Palace. There's still a long time to go at the time. So yeah, great to get him through that again. Another game for him coming out unscathed. And for him to open up the scoring again, the celebration, banging the crest on his jersey. I mean, he's really loving it here. He came out on Twitter today and said that he's absolutely loving it at the club. And I think it goes back to your brief stint on DCL there the other week, Rocco. I think we about 15,000 hits on TikTok about how much you love DCL. And I think you're right. You speak for all the Leeds fans when you say that. We really enjoy what he brings to a team. That fight, that competitiveness, that winning drive, giving it his all, jumping up for headers, putting his face on the line. He's everything we'd ask for in a striker. And when you add goals to that, and it's 6 and 5 games now, something that likes of Wallace, Hasselbank, Viduka have done before, you can't help but just absolutely love the guy. And then when he starts banging the badge after scoring a goal, your eyes get all teary. Like, oh, Dominic, I love you. I felt like throwing my knickers on him.
I saw someone write on Twitter the other day. They're like, "Oh, his legs are marvelous, aren't they? They look like they've been chiseled in stone." I was like, "Yeah, they are pretty incredible, long and incredible." Today I was thinking back to. Do you remember in summer when we signed him and everyone was there was all that uproar of underwhelmment about it, and I think we were always pretty level on the podcast about it, from memory, and I'm glad we were, because I just the recruitment have got it right. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has got talent. If they can keep him fit, he'll do really well. And obviously, there's been so much talk about. I don't like it because it's just all pure media, isn't it? It's like England call up. Tuchel's got to be taking a look at getting him in the England squad, and that just puts unnecessary attention on him. But he's obviously brushes it all off, which is great, because you can see how much he's matured in the last few years as well.
I think he'll like that, won't he? It'll hopefully just give him extra confidence, and the fact that England must be looking at him, it should only spur him on, shouldn't it? Can't be a distraction, can it really?
Yeah, it's a good point, actually, being positive, taking that as a positive thing. I often go too negative and think, oh, does it pile too much pressure on? But there's positives in it, in that other teams fear him more and play differently against us, and probably give other players around him a bit more slack as well, which means we can probably create chances from elsewhere. So yeah, there's loads of positives to that. And I'm always not nervous but second half, I think early on the season, we threw away leads that we'd had. Going in the second half, just seemed to switch off, and you think, oh, here we go, we're back to sort of square one. But yeah, we doubled the lead and into the second half, and that is the one that I was talking about earlier, the head on from Biol, and he was like so good on that. His movement was brilliant. The knock onto the back post was just fantastic, and I think we found that place for him of being a nuisance in the box. If he's not scoring goals, he's actually helping us to create things as well, which obviously the third goal that we'll come on to in a little bit, he played a big part in that as well. So yeah, I've been really impressed with him since Rocco was slagging him off.
Well, I'm going to save my Biol chat for a bit later. But did he get a flick on it for the Ampadu goal? I think he probably did, didn't he?
Yeah.
The third goal.
Yeah, he did. He it was like a little.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it. A little sort of flick.
Bit of flair.
Yeah, he's a flair player. This is what he's saying. I don't. We could jump ahead to that straight away if you want. But I think Farke said something about. I can't remember what it was. Very funny. He said, he's got no striker's instinct, Ampadu. And then in the post-match as well, Ampadu was asked, talk us through the goal. He's like, I don't really know what I was doing up there, to be honest. Which I thought
it was a great finish. It was absolutely beautiful. Poker. Yeah, perfect. Lovely goal. Aronson with the header as well.
I thought,
was it Aronson?
Possibly.
Heading it back into
he won a few headers in the edge of the box, Aronson. Bizarrely.
Yeah, he won one last week that really impressed me as well.
I thought it was really interesting what Ampadu said about that situation as well, and saying how important the second phase is for them in set pieces as well. Because it was cleared by Palace, wasn't it? And then it came back out, and then they were unsettled when it went into the box. And you don't really think about it much, do you, when you're sort of spectating and in the ground and just enjoying the football? But yeah, I think that's also why we look so on top of teams and so annoying and frustrating to play against, because they're thinking about every scenario. When they're thinking about second phases, that elsewhere on the pitch where they're closing Wharton down and giving them no space in midfield, that they are being an absolute menace. Like it's dirty Leeds, but clean Leeds. I like it.
Yeah.
Dirty good Leeds. Before we move on to Ampadu, I have to say that header by Biol, that flick on was brilliant. I said something on the pod a few weeks ago about when he made his debut and he made like a 30-yard headed pass.
Yeah.
And I think he is the best passer of a ball with his head I've ever seen. He is so good and so aerially dominant. He passes the ball well with his head, and that's exactly what he did with that. Like, if you watch his eyes go to exactly where he wanted that ball to go, which was exactly to the back post. He wasn't trying to score it. He wasn't just trying to get a flick on and hope someone would be there. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with that flick on. And I think let's watch out for that for the rest of the season in terms of headed passes from Biol. You heard it here first. Other things you heard here first.
I want to see
Go
him
on.
on the floor, just like rolling passes with his head now.
No, that was Gary Kelly. That gets your book these days. Other things that I've noticed, right? So I have this theory that when players haven't scored for a while, or they rarely score, they end up having like a shot or a header or something. They come close to scoring. It triggers something in their brain to go, oh yeah, I'm actually allowed to score. And then the following week they score. So before the game, I put into our WhatsApp group, not our personal one, deletes that one, that Ampadu would score today from distance because he had that shot from distance the week before. And I'd meant to put a wee bet on it for Leeds to beat Palace and Ampadu to score anytime, and I didn't do it. And I'd say that would have been worth a
Leeds
fair
that.
few quid. Leeds that indeed. So this week's prediction is that Rodon had a good chance, and so did Stroke. One of them or both of them will score against Sunderland. Lump it on.
Nice.
But back to the third goal. Yes, I saw it coming. As I said, I knew he was going to score. I knew he was going to score in this game. I called
First
it
Premier
before the
League
match.
goal as well.
I'm delighted for him as well. He's had a brilliant few weeks, hasn't he?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been magnificent. And to add a goal, and you know what? It was a really important goal because even though Rocco said rightfully that we came out with the right attitude in the second half, the first couple of minutes of that, they also came out with that intent. And I thought Stach in particular and Ampadu were brilliant at turning the tide for us, because I thought Stach was a little quiet in the first half, mainly because we were looking for overloads on the right hand side and he tends to operate slightly on the inside left. So through no fault of his own. But I felt it was him and Ampadu in particular who wrestled that game back off Palace in the first few minutes of that second half and put it back in our favour. And then for Ampadu to turn up with a goal, captain fantastic, right player, right time, right moment. And that was it then. That was the game won, because the 2-0 is obviously a very, very tricky scoreline. Although 3-0 proved to be a tricky scoreline with a couple of seconds to go as well. But yeah, certainly 2-0 is definitely a tricky scoreline. And delighted for Ampadu to have finished off what was got to be the best few weeks of his career. From a man of match performance at Chelsea through to that goal there against Palace, and one of the best Leeds performances in at least a week and a half since we beat Chelsea.
Rocco, it's not just a case of our midfield sort of outworking them as well. Do you feel that we're able to dictate play through midfield a lot more in that game?
Yeah, I think our midfield is Premier League quality. Like Ampadu 100% is, and then Stach, he's a bit inconsistent, but when he's on it, he's a really good midfielder. And then you got players like Tanaka coming on again. He's been inconsistent, but more than capable of settling down and being a Premier League midfielder. I'm pretty sure those three will all continue to play in the Premier League, and then you've got Longstaff as well there, and it's a massive area of the pitch. And this is the thing, the smart summer that we had, granted it wasn't perfect and messed up at the end, etc. But I think I said at the time, you need to look at it as an overall, and the overall thing, we'd sort of done what we wanted to do, and it's the strategy behind it. I mean, I don't like the fact that we sort of do research and then try and copy this team or that team. But it's definitely working. And they've got a really competitive midfield. And what I was going to say was the reason we went down last time, as Dara knows fine well, is because the midfield was so crap with Mark Rocker in there, not tracking anybody, and we couldn't dominate matches from midfield because we didn't really have a midfield. It was Tyler Adams was very good, but then when he was injured, then we were toast because we just didn't have a midfield. And that's very, very different now. So, something they've learned. And then you add the physicality in there as well. And it's great. We've given ourselves every chance.
Yeah. And the other addition to that is Sean Longstaff. I thought when he was out injured, I thought we could be in quite big trouble here coming into these run of games. And that's the one of the most impressive things, I think, as well, is that someone like him is out, and yet and Tanaka's not been playing consistently well as well. Yet this midfield is starting to gel and is starting to do the job. And I don't think it is just obviously they're playing better. I think tactically, because Farke's adjusted things and even pushing Rodon further up the pitch as well. It's a combination of all these things. And I thought about that actually, because my wife after the game the other day said, why are they playing so well? and I was like, well, yeah, well, why are they? But it is just a combination of a lot of things happening over the course of a couple of weeks, and it's just I'm so happy. Like, it's the happiest I've been going to Elland Road in a long time. Even like, it's so bad, and we talked about this last year, but you do go to quite a few games with apathy because you want to be at this level, competing against the teams that are top of the Premier League and pushing for wins. And this is where we are now, and we're getting what we deserve through amazing performances. So yeah, I couldn't be happier at the minute.
It does show the difference though between the Premier League and the Championship, doesn't it? Because
yeah, it does.
In the Championship, you'd go and you'd roll over a team, even a big team, a good team, even a team that were in around you in the league, and you'd be happy, but you wouldn't be this happy. Like, you wouldn't be just proud. No. Like, I think there's something about the Premier League. You're up against the big boys, and if you're doing it at that level, it just means more. Like, I haven't come down off cloud nine since Saturday night. I'm absolutely buzzing. It's just brilliant. And even I had my two brothers-in-law over last night. They're Liverpool fans, and I just turned around to them and said, "So Leeds are good, aren't they?" And we just having a chat about the game and how great Leeds are. Two Liverpool fans as well, so that was even funnier. Because they said to me, "How many goals was it?" And I said, "Well, it was 3 against Liverpool and 4 against Palace." So I wasn't letting them away with that. But no, it's brilliant. And on your point about Longstaff, who obviously, like, I've championed Longstaff. I absolutely love him. I can't wait to get him back into this team and see what he adds to it. But it's credit to three or four different aspects. One, Tanaka has stepped up in big games and gotten us points, and then he's obviously gone off a little bit, and that's fine. People's first year in the Premier League, it's going to take them a little time. Let's not forget, 2 years ago he was playing for Fortuna Dusseldorf. Then you Stack again. He's been magnificent since we've switched to 3 at the back, so he stepped up as well. And he's been pretty consistently good for the last few weeks, but he did have obviously a lull before that where you were almost worrying, should he be in or out of the team? But now cemented his place. And then obviously Ampadu is being Ampadu. But back to Farke again, I just can't praise the man enough that he has managed us through this difficult situation where one of our biggest leaders with the most Premier League experience is missing, and we haven't missed him even a little bit. And then even to have the foresight to go, okay, look, Tanaka has dropped off a little bit. Brendan Aaronson, this is the right game for you. And it goes back to what you said, James, about, should we play 3-5-2? Should we play 4-4-3? Just play horses for courses. Adapt to the opposition that are in front of you. And it's exactly what he's done. It's like someone else has taken over his body and he's just become the perfect manager. Like, this is everything he should have been. And I'm so happy for him. And I really hope this continues for my enjoyment and yours, but also just so for him to get that big Premier League season under his belt where he says, no, I am an established Premiership manager. And not only that, but he's put it up to the best managers in the league. And I do think your man Glasner is one of those. And he's murdered him. Absolutely murdered him. He forced Pep into cheating by telling Donnarumma to go down. He completely bamboozled Chelsea. He got one over on Liverpool. Like, he's doing it against the absolute best. And Keith Andrews.
I think it's worth saying, because like and it's not just like aiming it at Farke, but like when people say that like this manager or that manager is stubborn, like it really, really pisses me off. Like I mean, there are stubborn managers, but like I just don't think that is the case. Certainly not for Farke, and in almost all cases, Bielsa especially. That's probably why I've got such a bee in my bonnet about it. The manager does what he thinks is best, and the one thing that the point is that Farke actually did change it for this season. Let's not forget, it changed to a 4-3-3. And was it working or wasn't it? Well, we were outside the relegation zone. As he rightly said, we had some bad games. Like, he's within his right to keep going with, the formation that he worked on, that he wanted to see through the season. And so, yeah, I never saw it as stubborn. I just think, and the point is that it's not like he just continued doing what he did in the Championship. This is my way of playing, like hammer him. I'm just going to play like this. Well, it wasn't the case in the first place because he had already changed it, and then he did the right thing and changed it again.
It's interesting as well on Farke. Someone yesterday asked me, a Borough fan, and you sort of forget when you're in a bit of a bubble of your club. You think everyone knows what's going on in your club, don't you? But it's like, how do you feel about Farke? How do the fans feel about Farke? And I really started to think about it, and I just thought, do you know what? I really like him, and I don't think we appreciate how young he is for a manager, really. And when you think back to Chelsea and them signing Maresca last year, that was a big gamble, based on Leicester getting promoted and going for a Championship manager. There'd be plenty of sides that would have seen Farke last year, someone from the Premier League, and thinking, oh, I wonder if someone like him could cut it at this level. And I think he's still, this is the first time he's been properly backed, even not even to the degree that he wants to be backed. Like, he wants more players in the team, and he's doing a great job. Like, really, really good. And I think there's so much to come from him. I'm just so glad that it clicked at the right time, and he chose to be brave and make some brave choices, because it would have been another one of the stories for him, I think, that was just, possibly can't do it at this level, but he can, and I think it's a turning point. It's good, isn't it? It's weird being positive.
Oh, well, I'll jump in there and talk about Crystal Palace's goal and our collapse.
Yeah, go on.
I'm sorry, like, Biel's defending for that penalty is an absolute shambles. I don't want to go on about it too much, but I mean, it was really bad. And the goalkeeper as well, like, incredibly clumsy of the keeper. And he went far too early on the penalty itself. And then a minute later, we've switched off again. And we've basically conceded a second goal. Like, that is ridiculous. A free header in the middle of the 6-yard box to go 3-2. Like, the defence needs to really not let this happen. And the thing is, we are more solid, right? And the three at the back is working great. And we defend, like, I don't know, up to we defend our half very, very, very well. And Biol has been a big part of that, like winning headers, bossing strikers. But in our own box, we are defending pretty badly. Like, we are giving up far too many, like, basic chances. And that could have it could have cost us the game. There's no point. I'm imagining Farke would be fuming, really, to, the way we've ended that game. But I'm sure he doesn't want to burst anyone's bubble. But yeah, it can't be ignored, because we're seeing it far too much.
Yeah, a couple of things on that, I suppose. First of all, actually, on the turn, Biol absolutely got done, and was quite slow on the turn. He kind of looked like a bus slowly trying to turn, which, to be fair, Strauch has also looked like that sometimes on the turn. But then I actually noticed that at one point he had a sprint against it. It might have been Nketiah, and he comfortably outpaced him. So it's interesting to see, like, on a straight sprint, he actually has a bit of pace, but it's on the turn that he gets done on. But yeah, look, you have to hold your hands up and say about Biol, it was completely his mistake. I wouldn't even though I've been critical of Perry in the past, I wouldn't even hold any criticism of him. He's got to come out and try and claim it, and obviously he's not going to get there. And it is a stonewall penalty. He didn't hit him with the leg. He took him down with the arm as well, just to doubly make sure, and then kind of apologise to the ref. But the only thing that concerns me about it is I can overlook it to a degree, because we put in such a big effort that, last couple of minutes players are tired. I get that. But I did say before, I can't remember which game it was, but there is definitely a pattern of us conceding late goals. And we just have to be very wary of that if that is the case, we have to figure out how to try and avoid that, because scoring goals late is a skill and it can become a pattern. And at the same time, conceding goals late, obviously not a skill, but it's definitely a concern and can become a pattern. So we just have to keep an eye on that, because I really wanted that clean sheet as well. I thought we deserved it after what we did, because Palace are a good side. The first half an hour, I thought they were really, really good. They looked like a properly coached team that were far better than the individual people on the pitch. They're just, some of the parts was far better than the individuals. They are a proper team, and I was concerned for the first 30 minutes until we got to grips with them, and then we just went through them. And obviously they dipped after the first goal. Fine, not my problem. But they're a properly good side, and they are going to be dangerous. But the second one was a bit of a worry, all right, because if that goes in, it is game on with a couple of minutes to go, and that's a real worry, all right. Now we'll choose to ignore it, and we'll say let's focus on the positives. But if there's nothing you're going to take from a game, you've got to take a bit of learning from every game, and I'd hope that that's something that Farke will work on with the lads, because other than that, it's the perfect performance.
late goals, so we might as well get another one after all that. You know, we've had all the drama at the in our defensive end, so it's like, well, we might as well go up the other end. Ilya Gruev with like when it was given a penalty, because that obviously happened right in front of us. It was like there is absolutely no way that was anywhere near the box. It was so far out, and I just thought, yeah, the whole VAR was just a waste of time. It was just so obvious. But to be fair,
it's not even like he pointed to the spot, and you know they were so measured about actually giving us the penalty as well. Like he was so careful before he actually decided whether it was in or out. Got it badly wrong.
Yeah, and to be fair to the linesman, he was deeper with the play, wasn't he? Because the defensive line was a lot further back, but so he had no chance. But it was just the fact he's looking at linesman, and the linesman's like, "Oh, I don't know, I was nowhere near it." He's like, "Oh, it's penalty, just have it,
just have it."
But yeah, as soon as it then got overturned and put outside the box, I said to my sister, I was like, "I fancy Stach for this." Like Henderson's had pelters all night. He took that injury as well, didn't he? God, that is where Elland Road is brutal. Like it was brutal, the abuse towards Henderson, and so many variations of the same abuse. Just crazy. But yeah,
these fans are creative.
And the finish was brilliant. He had no chance. It was dipped perfectly over the wall. It wasn't as though it was like really fast. It was just perfectly placed and amazing. Just capped off just an unbelievable night. One that I'll never forget.
Ian Hart-esque, wasn't it? The right-footed Harty. Beautiful.
Yeah.
2 down.
It was.
So yeah, a few more to go. Hopefully, he's a very good set piece taker. I don't think It never really lets you down. Like I can't remember many corners that he's taken that have been cleared at the near post. Like they're not all brilliant, but you know, he's very consistent. And yeah, free kicks. I don't know how many has he actually taken. I can't remember him. I can't remember him missing any at the moment. I'm sure he must have done.
This is where the chat all of a sudden ignites.
Blows up. Yeah. What are you on about?
Speaking of chat, has anyone got the score of the Fulham Forest game? You could throw it in the chat, please.
Someone will put it in. Are we done? Are we done with the game? Because I've got a special treat for you two.
Oh, Christmas treat.
If we have.
Funny that I was wondering whether you'd have anything up your sleeve.
Up my Christmas sleeve. Yes. So I thought let's do a quiz. It's a very short one that I've put together, and AI definitely hasn't helped me. And they could all be wrong. But we also, so if you hit, so I'm going to ask you both, well, I'm going to ask the question first to Rocco, and then if you get it wrong, it gets passed to Dara. I'll keep scores. And then the next round will go to Dara. And if Yeah, got it?
Nice. Yeah.
So if you get a correct answer, you'll hear this noise from a famous Elland Road Premier League victory. Hopefully you'll hear it.
Gelhardt.
Which one was? Yes, correct, Rocco. Well done.
Do I get a point for that?
And
plays that sound?
No, you don't. No, you don't. And this one, hopefully, you'll like this. If you get one wrong, this is what you. Okay, round one. Here we go. So, I mean, some of these are going to be obvious. I'm actually going to swap them around because this question's a good one. Some of them are obvious. Which Leeds captain scored on Boxing Day 1974 in a season that ended with the league title? Rocco Dean.
Boxing Day. We salvaged a 1-1 draw at Birmingham, but that was the game after Boxing Day, I think. Well, captain, it has to be Bremner.
This is a fix already. Which player was the captain of Leeds in 1974? He was captain of Leeds for fucking 12 years.
How did I have to think about that for so long?
I was hoping you just hadn't picked up on the word captain. That's all it was. So,
which
Dara,
Scottish ginger captain was it?
Dara. So, who scored both Leeds goals in the 6-2 defeat at Manchester United on Boxing Day 2020? I don't know whether this is right, you know.
It's not right.
Say the
I was
question
going to
again.
say it's not, is
Well,
it?
hang on. Well, there's two players. It's not the same player.
Yeah.
I've got to
who's
plug
the
in
scorers, Dara?
I've got to plug in my charger. 1 second. Keep talking.
Well,
Shall
he
I
needs
steal
to
that
answer this.
question?
Do you want to steal it and then Dara has 2 in a row?
We're done.
Go
We're
on.
done. Go ahead.
Go on.
Go on then. Answer.
So what's the question?
Who
the
scored for
question is-
Leeds in the 6-2 defeat at Old Trafford? 2 players, obviously.
Luke Ayling.
Oh, sorry. I'm stealing the noise.
Luke Ayling scored a thunderbolt. Bamford.
That was
I
a
don't know.
5-1.
Ah,
How can
Okay,
I nip in then?
Yeah,
It was
let me just
Oh.
play the sound.
Sorry, I've ruined this
Go on,
feature.
Go on.
Cooper and Dallas.
I'm a positive guy. I block out the bad stuff.
It was a great goal by Dallas. Curler from the edge of the box.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute class. So I'm going to give Dara another question again, Rocco, just to salvage some points. Which Leeds manager was dismissed on the 20th of December in 2002? Dara Cunningham.
20th December 2002.
Rocco, do you know this?
I think it's wrong again. The answer is nobody.
That was the season before we got relegated. Am I right?
So AI on a number of occasions with this, I did say, please double check these facts because there was like 3 or 4 that were wrong. Then I just thought, oh, well, this one will be right. I've asked it to double check.
Well, my
Right, we'll
guess
bin
would
off
be
the points
Terry
at this
Venables is who you're looking for.
Yeah, well, you get the points even though it's wrong. Go on, Rocco.
Well,
correct us.
Well, I don't know. Venables left in probably March of that season, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was the manager then, though, right?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
the only manager
now,
who could have been sacked.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Who
help
did you
the
want
narrative
sacked
of-
in December of 2002?
Yeah.
It doesn't help the narrative of a Christmas quiz though. This Rocco, so we just turn everything into.
Oh,
a
is that
Christmas
what it's
question.
all about? I didn't make
Play-
the
play me
connection.
sound.
I'm an idiot.
You get it correct, don't you? So correct. Here we go.
This is riveting.
Right. What other terrible questions we got? So, who scored Leeds United's first Premier League Boxing Day goal after promotion, and in what minute? You don't have to do the what minute, Rocco.
Oh, I'll
And this
get
is
it.
Probably wrong anyway. on.
Bamford penalty against Burnley in the 3rd minute.
I don't even know the answer because on here it says we lost 3-1 at Liverpool. We didn't lose 3-1 at Liverpool, did we?
This is
Do
the
not
worst
bring an
quiz.
AI quiz to the table ever again. This is ridiculous. You got to vote
I love
Mitchell
it because
now.
I love it because it's so bad. It's so bad. I love it.
I want
We'd like
everyone
to-
right.
We'd like to apologise to
Um,
all of our listeners right now.
No, we don't. We don't. It's just funny, right? Well, I think we'll do one more, and then we'll declare Rocco a winner. Right, Rocco, you can check this, but it's going to Dara. So, who scored Leeds United's last goal in top flight football on Boxing Day before their 16-year absence
Ooh,
against Man City?
Boxing Day before we went down, that was an awful team.
Ah,
It was a
yes.
truly
I
awful
might be
team.
right with this one. I think I know who it is.
But we had 2 good strikers, so I'll go with one of the obvious ones. I'll go with Mark Viduka.
Mark Viduka it is, Dara. Let me play it.
I reckon someone in the chat now should put in one question for James as we're wrapping up, and we'll
Ah, yeah,
we'll
that's
pick
good.
one out. See if James can
And
answer
I'll
one.
ju- Oh no, God, I won't get it right. So we are at 2-2 for the. Let's just play this as the decider. Either one of you can just chip in and say it. All right. So you ready?
Ready.
What book did Marcelo Bielsa give Leeds players as a Christmas gift?
Oh, this is more AI nonsense, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. I don't know how to verify this. But this
Well,
is it anyway.
It's not a book of Mother Teresa quotes because that was Jesse Marsh. I don't know.
What would be able to give someone?
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. No, it's not.
I think we'll have to call it a draw.
Let's call it a draw. Football in Sun and Shadow by Eduardo Galeano.
Amazing. Yeah,
I was going to say that.
Hawaiian man.
Have you read it?
Yeah, it's over there. Yeah, it's really good.
I thought you would have read it. But anyway, that is the end of our crappy AI quiz.
That was the worst quiz ever.
But it was the best quiz because it was terrible. It was amazing.
And Fulham are winning 1-0 as well. I'm not sure how I feel about that because I think Fulham are probably in more danger of going down than Forest.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that that's going to finish 1-1 then. So that's good.
True.
Yeah. So
just a positive.
Back to football after that dire quiz. Do you think the Palace game has given us more confidence or sort of more pressure going into Sunderland? Are you expecting anything from the Sunderland game on the 28th at the minute? Playing very well.
Do you know what, right? So normally I've noticed over my many years watching football that when two promoted teams play each other, the team that finished ahead of the other team like always seems to win, no matter what the positions in the league are. And on this occasion, I would like to think it would be the same. But then again, I just think it would just be so typical to get that bump back down to earth, wouldn't it? But I do think we should go there and win.
I saw an interview. Sorry, Dara, I'll tee you up for this. I saw an interview with Granit Xhaka the other day, and I've not really heard him speak in interviews much. But he is so serious, I would run through a wall for that guy just because I'd be so terrified of him. And I think he seems to be the guy who is getting Sunderland to that level. And I think a few of their players had said, they'd really stepped up since he arrived, and the standards have all been raised as a result of him. Do you think that'll be an interesting battle for us in midfield, Dara, Ampadu and Granit Xhaka?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a player who I think we all wrote off a while ago when he played for Arsenal. Did he get sent off against us, or did he just try and get sent off against us?
He's had a few red cards, hasn't he?
Yeah, I remember him running around
in his
kicking
time.
people, and he either got sent off or he absolutely should have been sent off a few times. But he was a moron. He was a headless chicken. And he's been probably one of the signings of the season so far. He's become that wise old man in midfield, adding quality to his experience. He's been brilliant. So yeah, let's put it up to him. Let's see Ampadu and Stach and another against him. But to answer your main question, I think we're going to win. They are missing 7 players to AFCON, which is a huge dint in their squad. Now, granted, it gives some of their fringe players an opportunity, but I don't think those fringe players are as good as the 5 or 4 or 5 that start out of those 7. And obviously, if there's any further depth required, you're really digging in, because if there's 1 or 2 subs that aren't even on the bench because there's players on the bench who are gone to AFCON, then you're really stuck. So yeah, I thought Crystal Palace was an amazing opportunity, a great time to play a really good team away from home or at home. And I think this is the exact same thing. I think Sunderland, we won't have a better opportunity to play them. They're missing a lot of their players. Let's go after them. And as Rocco said, we finished above them last season. So every reason why we can beat them. And given that we have like 6 wins already, I mean, that 7th win on, what is it, 28th? What date is we playing?
Yeah, 28th, yeah.
The 7th win on the 28th of December would be absolutely massive. I mean, that,
yeah,
considering that, we've got Liverpool after that, and then Scum, and then Fulham again at home in a couple of weeks. I mean, you could be looking at Harry Gray starting up front by February, just to gain some experience as we coast to mid-table.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity now with AFCON on. We have an opportunity to go to teams that are badly affected by it and inflict some damage. And this is a really good opportunity to do that. And I think we'll be well up for it. And let's hope for another Farke masterclass.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you think he'll do the same?
Possibly. I mean, Mr. White Snake says the form needs to continue. Sunderland form is same as ours. Last 5, 1, 2, drawn 2, lost 1 from only Oliver. Thanks for that. I think Farke will do the same, won't he? I think the thing I worry about it against Sunderland, and I don't expect anything because I think they're playing so well and they've been doing so well at the Stadium of Light. They gave Arsenal a really tough game early on this season. Did that finish as a draw maybe as well? Can't remember.
Yeah, it did.
And I just think, what teams like Palace are missing, or missed against us, should I say, and Chelsea in particular, is they sort of tried to outplay us rather than sort of out-muscle us. And I think Sunderland will just be up for the scrap. And I just think, will they potentially edge us in the scrap at home? Quite possibly. I don't think it'll be a pretty game at all. And I think if we come away with a point, I'd be really happy. If we came away with 3 points, like you say, Dara, it'd be massive because the run will be complete for the last 5 games, 6 games, whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely take a point. I'd definitely take a point away from home, but could be a really good opportunity.
Yeah. Good stuff. Is there a one more ting this week? Is there anything else? Nearly an hour. It's good.
There is one more thing.
The terrible quiz dragged this one out. Sorry about that.
The incorrect quiz, so we had to guess the correct answers for.
Guess the incorrect answer.
So one more thing. Yes, there's one more thing this week. Don't change your fixture to play Leeds United under the lights at Elland Road, you muppets. All right, London in it. What kind of team? Like Palace asked for this. So Palace went out of their way to ask for a fixture change, and they got 8 p.m. on a Saturday. Daniel Farke does not lose under the lights at Elland Road, bar 1, I think, out of 20. I think it was the stat you put into the group, James. Unbelievable. So Palace got exactly what they deserved, and well done, Leeds.
What was the game? Here's a quiz question for you, James. What was the game that we didn't win under Farke, under the lights?
It was a draw. We didn't even lose it.
I think it was probably a draw, yeah, but I can't think who it was.
Was it? Oh, West Brom was away.
We've won all the ones this season. That's for sure.
It was in his first season.
I can't think who it was. It's too long ago. I don't remember anything. Terrible. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We'll do a bit of research, find out what that game was.
Another quiz question where we don't know the answer.
Yeah, this is really good.
At Ollie's comments. We had to guess the questions too.
It's a good job we didn't advertise that there was going to be a special quiz. Maybe we did. Anyway, so yeah, we'll definitely be back during the Christmas break. We've all got time off
with another quiz.
With another AI terrible quiz, and this time we'll have more time over Christmas. So if we do a quiz, we will piece it together well. But yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, everyone. Thanks everyone for all the comments, all the support, however you want to phrase it. We appreciate you being here for the last year. It's been amazing, particularly the win at the end of last season. And we hope you all have a great time, and we will see you either Sunderland, Liverpool, and we'll definitely be around for for the Scum game. I can't wait for New Year. That is, what a way to start the new year! First game at Elland Road. So yeah, hope you and yours all have a great time, and we will see you very soon. Cheers, everyone.